Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to talk a little bit about one of the most often discussed topics in Islam, marriage. Unfortunately, marriage in some cultures is used and can be very overwhelming for a lot of women. Some cultures and in some countries, it is the only topic that a woman hears about. When are you going to get married? And even when they get married, when are you going to have children? But the reality is, even though this is a beautiful sacred bond in Islam, Islam also has rules and regulations that need to be followed in discussing marriage. For example, marriage might not be obligatory for every single person. For some people, it might actually be something that's impermissible. Let's take, for example, a person who has mental health conditions or is suffering from depression. For them, it's better for them to figure out what exactly might be going on before they enter a marriage. And as such, for them, marriage could be disliked or even impermissible until they come to a place where they are healthy and ready to enter into this sacred bond. And for others, it could be obligatory. For example, an individual who is looking outside of a sacred bond in order to find fulfillment and intimacy. For them, marriage is obligatory or maybe recommended. So in discussing marriage, one question that always comes up is, do Muslim women have the choice when it comes to getting married? The answer is short and sweet, yes. And throughout the life of the Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, we have seen so many different stories of women being able to choose their spouse, and in fact, even leave when the time is necessary. But aside from that, what about women who get married? And as times have changed and the economy has changed, sometimes women have to go out there and be breadwinners. Does Islam negate their opportunities and their rights to be able to go out there and work? The answer again is no. If the opportunity is there, and if there is a consensual agreement between the spouses, and of course, if she wants to, then a woman has the right to go out there and to work. While some people might disagree and say, well, what about interactions between men and women in the workplace? Islam gives us many traditions and ahadith or narrations of the Prophet that show us that interactions between men and women are completely permissible as long as they don't break the sacred barriers, such as being enclosed in a room where no one can enter. So in one example, we have Salman, who went to go visit another companion, Abu Darda. And when he arrived at his home, he found his wife. And instead of running away, as some people might say, and there should be no interaction between the two, Salman actually started a conversation and asked her, how is everything going? And she actually continued the conversation by telling him about how things were, etc. And this conversation shows us that there can be permissible conversations between a man and a woman, as long as those conversations don't take place behind closed doors where no one has access to. So the answer again is that it is completely permissible for a Muslim woman to go out and work, just as it's permissible for a Muslim woman to choose her own spouse, and just as it's permissible for a person to not get married if it's just not their time or it's not something that they want to do. So thank you for joining us, and make sure again that you follow us on Facebook and you check out our hashtag, Our Other Half. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.